Hello, wonderful people. Hope you guys are on good and taking care of yourselves. So, have you ever repeatedly seen the same ad while you're scrolling through a Facebook or Instagram feed and just thought to yourself, not this again? Or more so, even not even realize that you had seen that ad and subconsciously bypassed it only to realize later that you had seen that ad somewhere? Well, that, my friends, is called ad fatigue from a consumer's perspective. And for e-commerce business owners like me and some of you as well, that is a real challenge to overcome. Because as we advertise on multiple platforms such as Facebook and Instagram, we are bound to come across ad fatigue and we must know how to overcome it. And before even overcoming it or implementing ways to bypass it or go over it, we should first and foremost understand how we can determine or analyze if we are actually experiencing ad fatigue. But fear not, in this video we're going to be going over what ad fatigue is in general and how you can determine or analyze it for your particular business and what are the ways which you can implement to overcome it as well. Alright, so with that said, without further ado, let's jump right into the video. So first and foremost, what is ad fatigue? Well, ad fatigue occurs when your target audience sees your ads so frequently that your ads become less effective on them and they become less responsive to your ads. So as a result of that, your engagement drops, your click-through rates drop, and your CPMs increase, and thus your cost per conversion also increases. It's like wearing or getting a new shirt, and the first few times that you wear it, everybody notices it and it's a hit. But as you keep on wearing it again and again, it doesn't have the same effect and people don't notice it as much as they used to before, and it just becomes a norm and people don't notice it anymore. So for example, in our business, last year we were selling oversized t-shirts. Alright, so when we launched a new collection, we were seeing amazing results. Our CPMs were really good and we are getting really low cost per conversion. But after 2 weeks of launching our ad campaigns, we saw a very drastic drop of around 40% in our CTRs. Now, we definitely thought that it was a sign of ad fatigue, and later after diagnosing and going through multiple other metrics, we definitely did find out that it was because of ad fatigue and we needed to refresh our ad creatives, and we did so. But if we had only gone off of our CTRs dropping and decided that it was ad fatigue, then that would have been wrong, because CTRs are not the only metric which you need to take into consideration before deciding that you are experiencing ad fatigue or not. A more solid or a more potent metric for determining if you are experiencing ad fatigue is frequency. Now, what is frequency? So frequency basically means the number of times or the amount of times your ad is viewed by a unique visitor or a unique person from your target audience, and that is how you define frequency. For example, if you're getting a frequency of 2, then that means that each and every person from your target audience on average is seeing your ad 2 times, and that is how you define frequency. But Facebook calculates frequency in a different way, and you can try it yourself as well. Facebook calculates it by dividing the total number of impressions that you get on your particular ad by the total number of unique visitors that you're getting on your ad. Alright, so if you are getting 2000 impressions on your ad and those are coming from 1000 unique visitors, then the frequency would be 2000 divided by 1000. That is the number of impressions divided by the number of unique visitors that you are getting on your ad. That would be 2 in this case. Alright, so that is how you calculate frequency. But knowing frequency and understanding frequency doesn't help in finding out if you are experiencing ad fatigue or not. Alright, so what you need to understand is the number above which you should look for other metrics to determine if you're experiencing ad fatigue or not. And that number, when it comes to frequency, is anywhere from between 1.5 to 2.5. It varies for different businesses, but as a general rule of thumb, I take it that if a particular ad is getting a frequency of over 2, then we need to go and check other metrics to find out if we are experiencing ad fatigue for that particular ad or not. For retargeting campaigns, your ad frequency could go up to even 6 or 7 or even higher in some cases, but that depends on case by case basis. But as a rule of thumb for retargeting campaigns, I go and check for ad fatigue if my frequency on retargeting campaigns is going anywhere over 6, and for regular campaigns, if my ad frequency goes over 1.8 or 2, then I definitely go into other metrics and check if we are experiencing ad fatigue or not. Now with that said, I think you've gotten a pretty good idea of what ad fatigue is and how you can diagnose it for your particular ad campaign. So now we are going to be delving into three important solutions or three important measures which you can take against ad fatigue if you are experiencing ad fatigue on any one of your ad campaigns. So the first measure which you can take against ad fatigue is refreshing or rotating your ad creatives whenever you see signs of ad fatigue on your particular ad campaign. Now what do I mean by this? Well, let me explain it to you with an example. Whenever we see ad fatigue on one of our ad campaigns and we have determined that we are experiencing ad fatigue through CTR and frequency and multiple other metrics, then what we do is we try to change the angle of the ad with which the customer is looking at our product. For example, if we are showcasing our product images in a carousel ad and we are experiencing ad fatigue and our CTRs are dropping and our CPMs are increasing, then what we'll do is we'll introduce a new campaign with customer testimonials in it, so that would give a new angle to the audience to understand and get a more in-depth view at the product and give them more of a nudge to buy that product. And in this way, the customer actually gets a completely new idea about what the product is and how it can benefit them, and it reduces the ad fatigue. At the same time, it increases the chances of that particular customer converting, because that audience has already seen two different angles of my product, which has helped them understand and get a better view or look about what my product is and how it can help them. Alright, so the first point is that you should, on a regular interval, whenever you see signs of ad fatigue, you should keep on rotating or refreshing your ad creatives, and that is the most effective way of countering against ad fatigue. Now the second measure which you can take against ad fatigue is basically segmenting and targeting your ad groups or ad campaigns. Now what do I mean by segmenting and targeting? Well, in basic terms, segmenting and targeting means that you target different types of audiences with different types of ads. Now what are different types of audiences? Your audiences could be cold audience, that is people who are seeing your ad for the very first time. It could be a segment or a group of warm audience who have seen your ad, who have interacted with your brand at some point but are not actually customers of your brand. And the third audience could be hot audience, that is people who have actually bought from your brand and are already previous customers of your brand. So you can segment and target them differently with different ads, because each of those three different types of audiences are at different points in their customer journey, and there will be different triggers or nudges which will help them convert to your new products. And by testing, you can find out which ads work for your cold audiences, which ads work for your warm audiences. So by finding that out, you can actually segment and target your ads to cater better to the audience type and thus get higher conversion and higher results from your ads as well. Other than just this, segmenting and targeting is also a very powerful tool to find out what resonates with your customers and what your cold audience actually wants from you, so that you can better adjust or cater your ads to the cold audience depending on what your already customers are liking, and then you can serve similar things to your cold audiences so that you get higher conversion rates as well. Now with that said, let's move on to the third and the final measure which you can take against ad fatigue, which is a bit advanced compared to the previous two, which is refreshing your ad placements. Now I'm pretty sure if you are a beginner advertiser, you wouldn't even know what ad placements are, or even if you knew, you wouldn't have a good idea, because you would be just going off of Advantage Plus placements, that is Facebook offering you the placements and where they find you would get the most results, and you're just going along with it. But if you're a bit advanced marketer, then you would know that ad placements definitely play a role, especially when it comes to certain type of ads. But in this case, to counter against ad fatigue, you can definitely refresh your ad placements sometimes whenever you're seeing ad fatigue, and test different ad placements to find out if your results get better and if the ad fatigue goes away. For example, if you're only showing your ads on Facebook newsfeed or Instagram explore section and just Instagram and Facebook feed, then putting your ads in stories, Instagram and Facebook stories, that is, could get you better results, since a certain portion of your audience could click on your ads while browsing through your stories as well, and they could convert from there as well. So refreshing your ad placements and trying different ad placement approach can also help you along the way and thus get you better results. If you are seeing not so good results or if you are experiencing ad fatigue, then refreshing your ad placements is definitely worth a try, and you should definitely try it as well before switching to the first two alternatives, that is refreshing your ad placements or segmenting and targeting your audiences. Alright, so with that said, I want to leave you guys with a very key insight that I've gotten while marketing my brand online and while marketing or working with other clients online as well. So here's the golden nugget for you. Well, ad fatigue is not just about overexposure. A lot of the times it's also about the relevance of both your ads and your brands. That is, if your ads or your brand are not resonating with the current needs and the moods of your audience, then the effectiveness and the results of your ads will dwindle. So that is an obvious outcome. For instance, if you're running a winter sale ad during spring or summer, then you're obviously going to get very few results and conversions because your audience doesn't have a need for your product right now. Because even if it is fresh content or fresh arrivals or new products that you're trying to pitch them at a sale or a discounted price, if they don't have an inherent need for that product, then they're not going to click on your ad and buy that particular product. And it not just depends on selling a different kind of product in a different kind of season, it goes deeper than that. It actually goes to market trends as well. That is, if a current market trend is going on and a particular type of article is selling in the market, and you come out with a very regular article that people are not resonating with, so you're obviously going to get sales, but the sales will be very less compared to the article that your competitor is selling, which the market is resonating with. Alright, because the people would be more so attracted toward that product and not so much towards your product, because your product is a more regular one which they can get anytime. So understanding the market trends and market depth is also very important when you're trying to sell your product online, because not just ad fatigue but your brand as a whole could lose relevance if you keep on pumping out regular products which the audience can find anywhere, and the audience doesn't find anything unique about your brand which actually makes them hooked on your brand, thus getting your products or buying from you. So ad relevance as well as brand relevance as a whole is very important when you're marketing online, because it directly affects your conversions or results, thus affecting your sales and revenue. So with that said, while it's essential to keep your advertising consistent, it's equally crucial to keep it fresh and relevant as well. If you start seeing declining metrics, then it might just be the time to shake things up and bring something new and refresh your ad to more resonate with your audience and get you better results. So I hope this video would have given you a better and clearer idea of what ad fatigue is and how you can tackle it. If it did, then definitely make sure to hit the like button and share your thoughts down in the comments below. And of course, for more such real life valuable business insights, ensure that you subscribe to the channel as well. So until next time, keep on innovating and keep on growing. I'll see you in the next one.